It's officially 3:33 p.m. and we are off the clock. Okay, you guys, we're back for another great episode that I'm super excited about. I'm super excited about this guest that we have this episode.
Yes.
So what's been up? What you been doing this week?
Me?
Yes.
Actually,
How does it feel to be back?
Because you traveled, right?
That's what I was going to say. I just came back from vacation, but I'll honestly tell you, I was so exhausted this week. It was just a long week when I came back, so
Sure.
it just wasn't enough vacation time. But
Yeah.
excited to be back.
One thing, vacation from the vacation.
Yeah, you need a vacation from the vacation. But the good thing about vacation is that it kind of recharges you, right?
Yeah.
It make you feel ready, like, I'm ready to go back. I got to do my thing now, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm feeling right now.
That good vibe.
Yeah. I'm ready to go back and do my thing, right?
Yeah.
I done took a break. It's time to go back now.
Yeah.
Let's make this thing happen. So
What about
I'm feeling good.
I again, more kid stuff. Gearing up
Sure, wearing you up.
And also too, I had a friend in town who was traveling with her daughter. Such an amazing thing. Her daughter applied to 25 schools, colleges, and got into all 25.
Oh, wow. So it's just choices.
Yeah, the majority of those, I'm sure, are full rides.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they
That's
were here
exciting.
traveling. So their family actually wants to move here, and so they were. She was here looking at property, and it was just her and the baby girl who was going to college or whatever. So her and my niece had previously met and hung out or whatever. So
chance to reconnect.
yeah. Well, no, because Nene went to work, but
And he got think.
but she's excited to actually know somebody here. Once they go here,
That's
so,
exciting.
Yeah.
Good.
What did I do? Just work. And then I went to a bridal expo with my bestie. My bestie's getting married.
Yeah. I saw that.
We went to the bridal expo, right?
Which location was it?
At the
at the gallery?
At America's Mart.
Okay, so not together. The one at the Galleria when I was getting married, it was terrible.
I didn't do it when I got married, so I don't know. We alone.
I've gone there just to go, but I was like, hit and miss.
It
that
wasn't.
kind of thing.
They didn't pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know. I mean, we found a great saxophonist.
Okay.
He was amazing.
Okay.
And I think we found a planner. But like the dresses, the things that you would expect,
Yeah.
they didn't have. They had a lot of
Right.
like realtors there.
Okay.
Like, you got your man.
Yeah.
Get your loan.
Yeah.
We don't need that. So and it was like a lot of cruise, things like that. But otherwise,
it was.
it wasn't
subpar when I went.
for sure.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wow.
So that was one of the things when I was starting in business. I always felt like marketing to those type of events would have been more beneficial than like the Bronner Brothers or certain things like that. No.
Actually, I'm so glad you made that point.
Yeah.
We would have had at least it would have been festive, entertaining at Bronner Brothers.
Yeah, but
this was like
dry.
It was dry.
It was very dry.
Yeah, even
the backdrops.
I was gonna say even the caterers that are there is just like,
Yeah, I mean, there were some venues there. They probably had more energy. A lot of photographers.
Yeah, a lot of
I
photographers.
can see that.
Yeah.
What is our thing called that we go to? IBF.
Yes, IBS.
I mean, 10 out of 10 compare IBF, right? IBS. 10 out of 10, like 20 times better than what?
What that?
What that was.
Wow.
Yeah.
IBF.
What is IBF though?
You're the bowel syndrome.
I was curious.
I still was with it. Wait a minute, what is it called? That is part.
I keep seeing the commercials. IBS, so just
IBS. No, it's not IBS.
It's the wrong
No.
one.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
IBS is probably the wrong one.
I said IBF at first.
And I said IBS.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Is
that
that
right?
right though?
No,
International Beauty.
Showcase.
Yes. But I thought it was irritable bowel syndrome.
Exactly. That's what I thought about when she said that.
And it has white writing.
Yeah,
Yes, IBS, International Beauty Showcase.
Y'all made it weird.
That's what I thought about.
I immediately went to,
Did you say that wrong?
Sorry about that.
No, but I have been seeing the IBS commercials too, though.
Oh,
For the real IBS.
Yes, the real.
The showcase. Gotcha.
Okay, you Googling it?
I'm just
Like,
Y'all like
she's
it?
like, I want to be right.
oh yeah.
Tell me what it is.
IBS?
Yeah.
It is?
The beauty showcase.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's like Vegas and like
Yeah.
Miami. Not
Yeah.
Miami, but Orlando.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
I wonder if they thought about that when they named it.
They
They
did.
probably did.
Yeah. Just like
Because-
remember I told you guys about my church who has a new youth program that they named it Yams.
Nuh-uh.
I come on.
What is
Them
it?
kids over there laughing.
An adult, young adult.
Young adult, some
Missionary.
something, I don't know. But I was just sitting in church trying not to laugh because I'm like, these young kids is gone.
They already like, wait a minute.
That's terrible.
All right, you guys just ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 3:33 p.m. and we are officially off the clock.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers, mama.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Sip, sip. All right, so we're back with another special guest for this episode, episode 15, honey. I feel like that's a
Yes.
nice number. 15
It's a
is a
great
nice
number.
right?
Not to
Yes.
mention that's the day of my birthday, January 15th. So
It is.
I don't think I knew you were a Capricorn.
I am a Capricorn.
Such a Capricorn.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, January 15th.
Such a Capricorn.
Oh,
Such a
I am.
Capricorn.
I really
Oh, my
am.
God.
All,
I can see it.
all, everything about a
Podcast
Capricorn.
over. No, no.
Yes.
Okay, so Miss Detra Reid is a commercial real estate broker, community servant, advocate, and board member. Currently serving as a treasurer-elect for the Atlanta Technical College Foundation Board, assistant treasurer for Browns Mill Women's Golf Association, chair of CBRE's Employee Business Resource Group Atlanta chapter. Black excellence, come through, baby. Yes. She's also a participant in the Atlanta Women's Foundation 2023 Inspire Atlanta cohort. Yes.
Yes.
Amongst many others, Detra's also obtained the prestigious certified commercial investment member designation. Come
Yes.
through.
Wow.
Last but not least, Detra's a business owner along with her husband of 28 years here in Atlanta. I'm saying it again, 28 years. Together for 28 months. And you've been here 28 years.
It's so, sometimes when I hear these things, I'm like, wait, hold on, they talking about me?
Yes. That part.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
That part.
When you're not like
Right.
Yeah, I'm running out of breath.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
what are they talking about? Yes. And let me add another one. And my mentor. In my head.
That part.
They're like, oh my God.
Funny you say that though, because I have a lot of people that'll reach out like, okay, be my mentor. Like I
Yeah.
get it all the time. They're in my inbox pinging me constantly.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, but I do it. I do it
It's
all
just
the
the
time.
vibe.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
do
vibe
it.
that you give. I love
Yes.
the chill,
Yeah.
relaxed personality. So let's talk about how we know Miss Detra through Miss Ashley.
You know, but Miss Detra came by way of Miss Lisa.
Oh.
Yes, Lisa.
Yes.
She's
Miss
Yes.
Lisa
yes,
is one of the
long-time
girls.
friends with
Yes.
Miss Lisa.
Why did I think?
Another Lisa.
No,
Another Lisa.
I just always, when she say Miss, it's this
Oh,
other Miss.
Another Miss. You is wrong.
Yes, I'm wrong.
I love all my misses,
Yes.
but
Yes.
Miss Lisa, she came by way of Miss
Yes.
Lisa as a referral.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think you guys work together in banking.
Lisa was my assistant in banking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
yes.
she worked. Yeah, she was my assistant. So she kind of assisted me, did my help me, get my work to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she came as a client, and then I think
Yes.
those first couple of
Yes.
visits, it was like all professional, all the, you know what I mean? It was like we're getting acclimated.
Yes.
So what was
Right.
that feel like though? Like, okay, so a woman, I always have this theory, right?
Okay.
About a A-type woman,
Okay.
a business owner, a boss, submitting to that service.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you something. I am so type A, right? So I'm
Yes.
always in that dominant, like you said,
Yes.
space, right? But I do know when to submit. So
Yeah.
when I'm doing that, like at that moment, she was servicing me. That's kind of how I look at it,
the
right?
professional.
Absolutely.
So I looked at it like, hey, here's a service that I want, and then I'm trusting her at that point, honestly.
Yes.
So I really am submitting
Yeah, to
to
the
that
process.
But to the process, right?
Yes.
So I know when to do that.
Okay.
And that's the thing about honestly being a boss. you got to know when to submit. And I do understand when to do that.
For sure.
Right?
Okay.
And I think for me, it was like, this is my home. I do want to set the standard, set the precedence for what you should expect. I wanted to serve her.
Yeah.
That is what I'm there to do ultimately. And then also, I'm like, you've been referred to me, as most of my clients are, so I know I have to deliver.
Right.
Deliver.
Yes.
And I think those first couple of visits, we just kind of got acclimated in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where we really wasn't speaking a lot. We did a lot of talking, you know, and we just got comfortable in the service.
Yeah.
And then
it broke.
about visit 4 or 5. About visit 4 or 5, it broke. And we just had that moment. It was like, we were both like, you too.
Yes. And then the funny thing is that you said that it broke because Ash is reserved, right? And
you are too.
I'm reserved too, right? And but when I know you, like, look,
Yes.
it's
All bets are off.
over with. Everything's on the table. All bets off.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here we go.
Was that level of security, like, did it happen because the work came through
Well,
constantly?
Absolutely. It was that. And then it was like, my feelings are organic. Like, I kind of can judge you even when you don't know. Like, I'm not thinking about it, but you start to know. I start to feel like, hey, what am I feeling from this vibe of this person?
Yes.
And what I felt was somebody that I can talk to, right?
Okay.
I can talk to her. She can talk to me.
Yeah.
And so it just came across organically, and that's why I really appreciated it, right? And so then we just started talking, and we started talking about everything.
We gets it off.
But it was trust, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to open up unless I really trust you.
Absolutely.
The same.
I do serve as a mentor all the time, and but there's a role for that.
Yeah.
Right.
But when
not
I'm
in
now
this space.
right, not in this space, because I wasn't here to be the mentor. I was here to be the client.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So and now I'm trusted, and I'm like, okay, I like her. I like her vibe. I like her professionalism.
Yes.
I like the service that she's given to me. Right.
Yes.
And so here it started organically creating that relationship that we both had.
I love
Awesome.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now the friendship and family.
Yes.
So how did you guys feel? Because first of all,
Organic for sure. I feel like, you were telling us about it, like, okay, not to tell the listeners get too much into our business.
Right.
But we were conducting some business with Detra at a point, and I feel like the first time it was like
The fifth time.
No,
For me.
the first time it was like that fly auntie that you meet, like, ooh.
yes.
Like, the cool auntie, the fly auntie, that's what the vibe it was. And it was just like so sweet, so like her demeanor was just like one of those things that you look at and you be like, oh, I want to be her when I grow up.
For sure.
I grow up.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
for me, it was more off of the strength of her word.
Right.
She is not, she picks and chooses.
Right.
Exactly. She picks and chooses.
Yes.
But you were like, it was the excitement when she spoke
Yes.
of Detra. It was this, it was that. And then we genuinely have an affinity for our girls.
Right.
And we call them our... should I say it?
No, say it. Say it.
We call it our 50-something.
Right.
You are the
Yes.
girls that we always want to
Yes.
serve.
Yes.
We don't want nothing else but you.
Because that's the perfect.
It's the perfect.
Yes.
You have enough experience and you know what you want.
That's
and
true.
you're here for an absolute reason. So when you come through the door, it's no funny business.
Yeah.
Right.
With the energy.
Yep.
You get what I'm
That's
saying?
real.
So once that was established, it was like meeting. It was like meeting an
auntie,
extension
huh?
of
The
you.
auntie,
It's not
right?
even just auntie. It's like meeting a girl
Girl
Yes.
who
that
gets it.
has
Yes.
lived through these
Yep.
experiences
Yes.
that we are
That's so
currently
true.
going through.
Yes.
She's just like us.
Yes.
She gets it. She's
Yep.
still popping. She's still
Yep.
fly. She's still sexy.
You
she's
are
still,
gold.
Yeah.
Legit.
Wow.
For sure.
Gold.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and,
For sure.
and not in
It makes you look forward to
superficial
the
type of
process.
way.
Yes,
No,
absolutely.
it's everything.
It's
everything.
It's on paper and off paper.
Off paper and on paper.
Period.
Yeah.
The goals on paper and off paper, the energy that you receive.
Yeah.
So it was humbling. It was really nice to meet you.
I actually appreciate you even saying that, because the truth of the matter is that's kind of how my thing always is, to make sure that I'm authentic for the next generation, right? Because I'm always thinking like, I got to give you the real me. That's why I'm kind of reserved as to who I'm opening up to as well.
Right.
but I want to give you the real me, because sometimes people see me and they think that I'm perfect, right? And I'm like, no, I go through stuff too, but I also need people to understand that I understand where you've been, or where you're coming from, or what you're going through. And because I have more experience, don't mean I have all the experience, but I have more experience in certain things. So I want to make sure that I'm there really teaching the next generation, or really helping them to kind of get past whatever the things are that they may be going through, good or bad, right?
Right.
And so I think I take pride, honestly, in that role. And that could be a lot of the reasons why. Now I think when I'm talking and connecting with Ashley when we first connected, like, hey, you know, like, here's me. And I know that I got to come clear with who I am to help her even open up.
True,
right?
authentic self.
Right. So I know that me being real with who I was allow Ashley to come out of who she was, right?
Absolutely.
And say, hey, well, I want to trust her. But she can't trust me until I start to be really me, right?
So I want you to know something about like your beauty professionals, as far as your hairstylist and your eyelash artist. Like, we are so touch sensitive people.
Yeah.
We know when you being real and when it's not real.
Interesting.
So it's the energy that you gave, even though you were giving your authentic self, regardless of if you were giving that or not, she was going to be able to pick that up regardless.
It's always in the body.
It's always in the body language.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's always in the body language, and your eyes are closed, so you're not even aware.
That's true.
You're not even
Now
aware
that's
of
true.
what you're giving off.
Yes.
So we know immediately if this is a authentic stance or it's a posture to like prove something to us in a weird way. You get what I'm saying?
Now that's interesting, because I never thought about that, right?
And I think when Detra was so, like, once we did open up, once we cracked it open, and she was honest and authentic, because I had admired her already, it just allowed me to be like,
because of the body language.
Right.
This is just what this is. Like, her experiencing things that I currently experience, I'm like, and I see you as that girl.
Yeah.
It's like the fact that you experience things that I experience. Oh wow, it's a safe place.
I'm not isolated.
Absolutely.
Yes. And that's why I'm always like, whenever I love dealing with women. I love dealing with men too, but I think women are we just. I was right. We're just it. Like, we just got this different thing about us, and I love dealing with the women for that reason, right? It's this level of love we have. We have love and respect for each other. I actually respect, like, even when I see you girls, I'm like, wait, hold up. They doing the damn thing, right? This is a different generation, but they doing it. Like, so I admire that as well. Like, I've had some experiences. I had some bumps and bruises along the way that got me where I'm at.
Yes.
So, I look back and sometimes say, hey, if I was doing that at their age, man, can I imagine where I would be? So I admire that as well. Like, people don't always realize that admiration is going multiple ways, right? Because y'all teach me things too, right? I'm learning from y'all. Like, man, hold up. Like, so this admiration is, just understand that the admiration is really a back and forth thing.
Yes, it's
So
a mutual
if
feel.
we didn't talk, what we would lose in that. What we would.
The blessing in being open.
That is true.
The blessing in being open.
That is true.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something. Honestly, a long time ago, I've had people say, hey, don't toot your horn, don't do this, don't do that. And I don't tend to toot my horn. That I don't do.
It's not
But I have learned to not make it look like life is perfect for me, right? And I realized that it opens up other doors that you may not know. You're helping someone when you don't realize they needed to hear your word, right?
Yeah.
They needed to hear that thing that you was going to speak about. You don't even know that,
Yeah.
right? And I can't tell you how many times I get that somebody be like, man, you must have known what I needed to hear.
Right.
How do I know that? I don't know.
Yeah,
it may be some sort of divine.
I was led.
That's why it's important for you to celebrate yourself, and celebrate your wins, not for yourself, but for us.
Yes.
For the girls that need to receive it and see it.
And Ash had to say that because I'll be like, wait.
Don't all of us.
I'm literally like out of breath reading these things, and I'm sure this is not even all of it.
No, it's not. I had to take things off because I wanted to update it to be current, right? Because I have stuff that I'm like, okay, I just finished serving on this for 3 years, leading this, leading that. And I wanted to make sure it was like in the moment. What am I doing in a moment, right?
Yes.
And so I updated it for those things. But even when I have to give it to people now, I'm like, wait, is that me?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't realize you're doing all the things that you're doing, right?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what I'm finding out about myself. Like,
If I was doing all the things that you were doing.
Oh my God! And
I would have been out here with.
you know what?
I would have been out here like, hey.
I've never ever been like that, and I feel like now when I think back, I said maybe that's why God has me in these positions, right? Because I'm really humble with the things that I have or do or the opportunities. Like I've been blessed to get some really good opportunities. Sure. And some of these positions, I'm not raising my hand to get there.
Right.
Sure. There's people tapping me saying,
asking you,
can you do this?
Yes.
Can you serve? Can you be on that? Can you be my mentor? This is that happening for me. And then it's making me understand, in order for people to be coming to me like this, they see something in me in order for them to do that. But I understand that there's a role, right? This is my role. God had me here for a purpose and for a reason. It is my calling. And so I'm delivering, right? And I know that I have to deliver. And that's the gift that I put out in the world. Because one time they was asking me, I had to sit there and say, what is my purpose? But then I realized that you're already serving your purpose. People coming to you constantly. Right. Or stuff, right? Right? Whatever. I mean, my husband used to joke about it when we was younger. He said, you need to be a counselor. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know, because he felt like people would come with their most personal information and things, problems and whatever. And I took pride in really making sure that I took, like, hey, take everything off and put yourself in that situation and really give them the real answer, right? A real, and I'm a very empathetic person. And at one time I thought it was maybe I'm too empathetic, but I realized it has served me to be what I am. This is my role to women. This is what God called me to do. Even when I didn't realize that, I understand it now.
You do, in retrospect.
Absolutely.
I understand it.
Yeah.
Being obedient.
One of the things, I have an issue with the word humble.
Yeah. Okay.
Not in a negative connotation.
Right.
But I just feel like sometimes humble makes other people comfortable.
Humble is for them, not for you.
Humble is for them. You maintain this role to not make anybody uncomfortable with your presence. But humble will get you slept on, overbooked, tired. You get what I'm saying?
Excellent point.
But I don't feel like it's any, I don't get turned off.
To prove your humility.
You don't have to prove you are that. You're grounded.
Yes.
You're level-headed.
Yep.
You're open-minded. That is humble.
Yes.
But people get that word confused with not like being like boastful in a sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with confidence.
Yes.
Right.
It's conceitedness.
Right.
That's the difference.
Arrogance.
So in arrogance and conceit. But confidence, exude that all day, always. It's just that word humble that sometimes it throws me in a sense.
We got it misunderstood, I think, in our community for sure.
In our community, with your accolades, right?
Yep.
And like, don't get the big head.
Yes.
Be big-headed. Be big-headed. You've earned it. You've done the legwork. It didn't come.
And you're not even doing it for you. It's like we need it.
I love that you mentioned and brought up that point because it is necessary. And I am also telling my children this right now. Like, hold up, right? We don't want to. If you're uncomfortable, that's your problem. Yeah. So that is true, don't right? So they took the word humble and they just put it somewhere. They made it very muddy.
They use it against us.
So you are correct. So
they
feel
humble.
like
don't get the big head.
Don't say, because that is making them uncomfortable.
No,
right?
Because your glow is making them uncomfortable.
It's making them feel uncomfortable. Yeah. So I like that you brought up that point, because that's even when I post on my social media, like, wait, hold on, like, live out loud a little bit, right? Yeah. Because you should be telling people what you're doing, right? I'm doing great stuff.
Yes.
Why do I have to keep that quiet? Because that makes you feel comfortable. I don't want to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't tell me, and people use that word, be humble, be humble, be humble.
Yes.
So it was good that it was good that there you go.
Yes.
And so it was good that you brought that up, because really, I'm humble naturally. Yes. But if I speak about my accolade, I don't want to hear that be humble.
You don't want to have to shrink yourself.
I am not. You hear that? Remember that song? Let it shine, let it shine. Remember that song? And we didn't even understand what that meant before, right?
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is, you gotta let your light shine. Yes. You gotta let your light shine. And I'm also making sure that I remind myself of that often, right? Don't sit there and be quiet to make somebody else feel comfortable
in your
right?
presence.
I've done that as a young child. And so that's why I'll always tell people, like, no, you got this. Because for one, you may need something. and somebody don't know you need it because you've been so quiet about it, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta talk about things because there may be an opportunity right here.
Yes.
I can't even tell you that the opportunity is there. They say, hey, you know somebody that's great at lashes
Yeah.
or
Right.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
I can't even say that because you didn't even say that you was great at that. You said
Right.
nothing. So
Right.
we can't do that. We really can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not shrinking myself. I don't want anybody else shrinking themselves anymore
Yeah.
because somebody else felt uncomfortable
In
that
their
you
presence.
look like you was all of that.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
are, right?
And
You
then-
are.
And it be
Yeah.
it's all what is that displaced?
Yeah.
Like
Display.
Like
projection.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's projection.
It's all a
Yes.
projection.
Absolutely.
And,
So
and of their energy
Yeah.
or whatever they have going on.
yes.
You said it recently in one of your captions that you were going to live out loud.
Yes.
That was
And-
the best thing. Cause I'm
and-
like, we need it. Even if it's not just for you, because you are humble, you embody
Yes.
that. We need your story.
And that is
Yes.
exactly what, and the reason why I said
gotta
that,
live out
because I
loud.
realized, like, I do so many things right behind the scenes. I don't post, because for one, I don't like taking pictures, and I got to
Sure.
work on that. I used to love it,
Yeah.
but I hate taking pictures, and I'm
It's
trying
just
to.
become a thing
It's
now.
a thing, right? And then when you're in these environments, sometimes I'm in a room with all sorts of people.
Yeah.
The mayor, the governor. I'm in a room, lots of rooms, but I think I kind of pride myself, like, I don't have time to always take out my camera.
Yeah, and you're
because I'm not in the
moment.
moment, right?
Yeah.
So being in the moment, I don't capture those things. I don't have time to say, hey, take my photo. But maybe I need to do a little bit more of that sometimes. So sometimes I question it. I'm not in that generation
need
with
an
social
intern.
media,
Right
right?
there.
Right.
We just need an intern right there.
For real.
In their
For
20s.
real.
When you're in
For
those
real.
rooms,
Yes.
they're all
You know.
whispering about who you are.
You know
Yes.
what, Ash? That is so good. I remember having, like, at my old firm that I was at, we had a communications person. She was like, Detra, people want to see you. Like, I hear that all the time. People want to see you. They're listening. Like, they want to hear you because you have so many great things to say. You got so much going on. And I'm like, yeah, but again, being in the moment, I need somebody to just do it in the moment because
Right.
if you tell me you're doing it, I'm like, I'm going to freeze
Right,
up for
right,
one,
right,
right?
right.
Because I'm not the
Your
social
own
media person,
anxiety.
right?
Yeah.
An assistant
But if
or
you just
intern
do
would
it,
benefit you in that
and then you
way.
just capture and do whatever,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's
Yeah.
my little struggle.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad struggle. It's one for the girls because we're so used to just getting the work done. Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily think about those things, but doing business in 2023, you got to think about those
that's the thing.
things.
It's
Absolutely.
essential.
Yes.
It's
What's
essential.
new.
It's
That-
essential. If
yes.
it wasn't for the business of it all, you wouldn't see me.
I
You
agree.
get what I'm saying?
I absolutely agree.
But
Yeah.
in this new age
It's
of
important.
era
That's what
of
Jay-Z said.
well, Ashley and I talk about that, right?
it's a concept. We do too.
we really talk about that because I'm like telling her, you need to post more, right? You need to post more than. And then I was like,
back at you.
that's exactly like, here's the pot calling the pedal back. You need to post more, but yeah, and still, I don't like to post of me,
We don't
really,
like
right?
it.
Because I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't got time to sit down and post, but it's necessary.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is.
necessary.
You don't know who you're inspiring.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People need it.
And she
Yeah.
need, yeah,
People really
she
need
needs
it.
that.
They really do.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's
let's get
wonderful.
into it.
Oh.
You ready? You ready? You ready?
I don't know. I think so.
All right. So, when were you first introduced to commercial real estate?
Oh, good question. Well, actually, I got introduced to commercial real estate. First of all, I didn't grow up knowing anything about commercial real estate.
Okay.
So I must make sure that I disclose that. People see me in here and they think like it was something that my family probably knew of. My family didn't discuss commercial real estate. It was not something that I knew of at all. It was an accident that I got into this.
Really?
Yeah.
It really, really was. I got introduced to commercial real estate by way of being a commercial banker. So my first career it wasn't my first career, but my career here that led me here was banking.
Okay.
And so it was the height of the recession that I actually went through a leadership program for the bank. And then that job, it was like, hey, we're going to put you in Atlanta in this area. We got a lot of problems, and a lot of the problems was going on in commercial real estate. We feel like you're good for it. We feel like you'll learn it. And it was during the recession.
Okay.
That became my exposure to commercial real estate. Outside of that, I really didn't know much about it. Although I saw it, you know how you can see things?
Yeah.
Like I see it, hey, commercial real estate broke. But what does that mean to me?
Yeah.
It means
Right.
nothing to me if you don't know anything about it. So you can see something and easily gloss over it.
Yes.
Yes.
But my banking career is what led led me and what introduced me to this industry. That's a very large industry that people don't even think of. They don't even think of. They think of all things but not commercial real estate. And I'm like, every single thing you do, from marketing to design to everything, it is all in commercial real estate, and people don't know that.
Yeah.
So I'm a voice for that too now. But yeah, it was banking. My banking career led me
That's super dope.
I was gonna say, what was that transition like?
to get into the to be the commercial real estate broker.
Yeah.
Because you were closing deals or like seeing it from the other side, from the banking
Well,
side.
Right.
It accidentally happened, right? And the reason why I say it accidentally happened, it only happened after I got laid off from a job.
Okay.
Right? So it was a moment in my life that was a very pivotal moment. It was a sad moment. It was a moment that devastated me, but it was the moment that birthed this spot for me, right?
This
That
lady
birthed this
that we
lady
know.
here, right?
Yes.
This entrepreneur.
Yes.
It was that moment. So that's exactly what happened. I got laid off from a job. After I left my banking career, I went to KPMG. It's one of the big 4 consulting firms. It's a top-notch accounting firm, right? So there's 4 of them. And I went to one of them. So I was kind of stationed in New York. That was my base. After I was on the job for a while, and we did all sorts of things, all things banking was my job. So I traveled around to different banks and kind of like oversaw their risk, making sure that anything that they might have, like they will follow on policy. So that was my job, to make sure they would follow on policy of their largest publicly traded accounts. Yes. Their loans. And about a year something into that job, here comes the layoff. Yeah, that's how I felt. Really, that's how I felt. And so it was so sad at first, because when I first got laid off, I was so devastated, because it was my identity, right?
Yeah.
It was really my identity. I was a banker, right? A commercial banker.
Yes.
Not to tell her, I was the bank officer in court.
No offense to tell her.
Right? No
banker.
offense. Right? No offense to the tellers, right?
Yeah.
But I was in court. I was the one who signed my name on documents. You would go to the courthouse right now and see documents that my name is on as that bank officer who signed off on your deal or your loan for these businesses, right? So that was what I did, right? Yeah. So that was me. So it becomes your identity.
Sure.
So here now, my identity is banking, and now I'm going around, and now I done moved up from the bank, and I moved to the consulting firm, and my expertise is out here. And then one day it was like, hey, we projected and we over projected, and now we're gonna have to downsize. And myself, along with a lot of other people, got affected.
Yeah.
All I saw with that downsize was that I got fired.
Yeah.
There, I didn't even see anything else. It felt like
Other people.
No.
I didn't even
For
see
serious.
anyone else.
Yeah.
Y'all just fired me, right?
That's it.
I just failed. That's how I felt, right?
Everybody didn't lose their job.
Yes, everybody. That's how I felt. Everybody didn't lose their job. Y'all came to me. Y'all, first of all, y'all made me leave Atlanta, go to New York, right? And saying, they kept pushing me, Detra, we need you to move your house and move it up here. Y'all set me up. Y'all got me here. And then one day you tell me, hey, the job is over.
Yep.
Near Christmas.
Wow.
Near the end of the year, because that's when they get you, right?
Yeah.
So it
You
really
can't even
broke
see
my heart.
they're drowning.
Yes.
They're underwater.
I didn't see
They
that.
had to make drastic
It
changes.
was a business decision, right?
Right.
Me and my rational mind now, I
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
But that mind, at the time they said that,
can't
or
see
after
it.
they said
was
that, I heard,
personal attack.
womp, 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 womp. Give me my papers. And I can remember how I did this. Give me my papers. I left out of the office, took my bag, took my flight, booked the flight to Atlanta immediately, went to the airport, came home, and laid in my bed and cried for about a couple of months. Like, it was so bad. Like, it was really bad. And then I had to sit there and, like, you got to get yourself together.
You got to.
Right? What next?
Yeah,
What
pull your
now?
bootstraps up.
Get it together.
Yeah.
But it was it was my identity. I was proud of my job,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because as you move up, there was times I would look out the window. I'm on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
Like, I'm that girl.
Yeah, like it was really doing that. Like I'm a girl from the hood.
Yes.
Seriously, right?
Yes.
I'm from inner city New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't see this life for myself.
Yes.
So now I'm here and I'm looking out the
And I've
window
done
on
these
Fifth Avenue,
things.
like, man, I have gotten somewhere. and then one day it's over.
They snatched your rug from under your ass.
Ruined me, right? And so because I was a banker, I was very risk averse. I didn't think I was an entrepreneur, honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not the entrepreneur. My family is risky, right? They when I say risky, like they're all entrepreneurs, right? Not me.
They bend it all.
Right? Not me. I'm gonna stay on my job, and y'all go ahead and be the entrepreneur, right? And I'm gonna keep bringing in this salary and these benefits,
Right.
And y'all do what you do.
Yes.
But that day birthed the entrepreneur in me.
Okay.
It birthed the entrepreneur in me because when I finally came up out of that thing that I was in, I said, never again will I allow somebody to have that kind of control over me. If I was an entrepreneur, I would have saw that a problem was happening, right?
Right.
And I would have been able to anticipate and make some
Yes.
adjustments,
Right. Yes.
right? I'm pivot queen.
AKA
Pivot
pivot queen.
right?
AKA
I
pivot
am
queen.
the queen
They got you
of
one
pivot.
time.
You got me, yes.
You won't give me
Second time, but no, they got me one early on. That's when I got my real estate license. They got me the first time, and I was like, but that was before my banking career.
Right,
Okay.
right.
But this time,
It
thinking that
hit. It hurt.
it really hit hard because now I was
established.
right there. You go. I was much. The first time I was like 30. You know, I'm good. You know, like I'm sad.
Bounce back.
But hey, hold
well
up now.
established
This
now.
is real now. I got real bills. I got real
Real
things that I'm
bills.
doing now.
Turn old.
Right.
But hold up now.
And the relocation of it all. I
And the
invested.
relocation. That's exactly
I've
it.
invested.
I invested. I left my family to come work your job.
Yeah.
And then I lose my job one day.
The
Okay, I
loyalty
tell
of
you
it
what.
all.
Slap in the face.
And that's how I felt. So it hurt. It really did hurt. I laid in my bed. I cried. My stomach went. And I felt, and the strange thing was that I was feeling different emotions. There was one part of me that was excited, right? Like, you know what? I get to go back home with my family.
Yep, you're free.
But then I felt this got real of me, and I felt the disappointment,
Felt
right?
like a failure.
I felt like a failure. You called me over here. You got me on your job. So what I'm thinking is safe is not really safe.
Right.
And so that
That
moment,
part,
right,
that safe
is
but
when
not
I
safe.
realized, wait, so you keeping this job and you won't be the entrepreneur because you felt like you got security? You don't have security in nobody's job.
Loyal to the wrong person. Loyal to
But
them.
you have some in yourself,
Yeah.
right? And I always had a client when I was in the bank, and he was like, Miss Reid, you work so hard. Why don't you work for yourself? And I was like, no, I'm not an entrepreneur. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was. But when that happened, I said, never again. Never again. I'm going to
bet
take
on you
control.
and you
I'm going to
only.
bet on me. And at that moment, I bet on me, and I haven't looked back since. But the real thing is why people don't bet on them. I was scared that if I didn't work a job, how am I going to pay my bills? What if will we be able to eat? Because I've always worked. I've been working since I was 14.
See, and that's first of all, that's the thing.
That's the
If you were not a good worker, I could see the insecurity in
you
the
go.
entrepreneurship.
Yep.
Yes.
If you were a shifty
Yes.
or a
Yep.
flaky worker,
Yep.
Yeah.
I could see
Yes.
your insecurity
Yes.
into going into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Yep.
But if you've been working and you
Yes.
consistently
Yep.
work,
Yep.
disappointed about a job not falling through, and you this and you that,
and you
you're
constantly
the
leveling
perfect-
up.
Yes.
you're
Yep.
the perfect
Yes.
candidate
Yeah.
for your own shit because you know how to show up to somebody else.
And
Yeah.
you said the word for me, and that was how I looked. I said, you know what? I have given these jobs my time, my go away, my discomfort. Because let me tell you the truth. Many times at work, I was uncomfortable. I was always uncomfortable. The reason why, because I was in environments that didn't look like me, right?
Yes.
So I honestly could tell you,
White and
I
male.
went to banks many times, and they say, you must be really smart
Oh,
because
yeah, she's
literally the only black female in this room, the only black person in this room.
And I'm
And
certain you
so-
probably were the smartest person in the room.
I mean,
For real,
and
though.
that made these jokers were real smart. I'm gonna give it to them too.
Were
So
they?
they all smart. No, they really smart. So I'm gonna give it to them.
Yeah.
But being in the room and you're the only one, I wasn't there. And I tell people I'm not there because I'm the token. I'm there because I'm qualified. Like,
Absolutely.
I am qualified. Look at my resume.
Overqualified.
Overqualified. And I
Yeah.
felt very.
Don't play
I
with
all
you.
day long. I loved my resume. Like this is not a token. This is not a hey, we gave you this.
Yeah.
No, I am actually.
because you know they're going to look up.
They're gonna look me up, qualified. And to the point that they would say to me at the jobs, Detra, you know, we like using people like to use your resume, like because I was on a job that they can use my resume when they needed to. If they say, hey, we need to see who's your staff. before we went to bid on the job, like at the consultant firm, they wanted to see who was going to be working on that assignment.
Okay.
So we had to have resumes with our picture on it and our background.
Yes.
So they would use my resume at times to say, hey, this
To
is
get
our
deals.
team.
Yeah.
Right, to get the deals.
Yeah.
To get the deals.
You
This is
using
our
my
team.
face.
They were using my
were you
face and
even
my
working on that?
credentials.
Yeah, your credentials.
I didn't always know that, but one of my bosses was like, Detra, they like to use your
They
resume
love your profile.
Yeah.
because you have some credentials that the average black person don't have. It is true.
And the average person in this building.
The
knows.
average
And also,
person
like,
in
the
that
company
building
doesn't
didn't
have
this.
this
Yes,
this
the
level of
company didn't have
diversity.
it.
Company doesn't
They
have
needed
it.
diversity, right? And they need, and like we've gone to banks to do like underwriting, and who we dealt with a lot was the C-suite people, right? The CFOs, the CEOs. But there's some that we would go to and they would say, don't come back here unless you have somebody that look like
Absolutely.
us. We want some diversity on your team. If it looks like this, don't come
Absolutely.
back
They don't
here.
wanna-
So they needed that, right? So they didn't have to lie and fudge who I was. I was really all of that they needed, right? I was really
needed
that,
me,
right?
yeah.
So that was a beautiful thing. But then I'm telling you, so when I lost that job, even though they said to me, you can go ahead, like really when they downsize and you can still go find another job in the company and do those things. But to me, I didn't even hear that no more.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
But I'm going, first of all, it's
Because
like
why
going
didn't you
backwards.
find me the job in the company?
Yeah,
And
also
they don't
that's
want to
an
do that.
Right.
I'm an asset.
Yes, so they
Yeah.
don't want to do that, and they're not going to do that. So to me, just to get that notice, I mean, it really took me weeks to go back and look at this letter that they sent me, because in my mind, I was fired.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
I went back later on, I was like, oh, I really got laid off. It feels the same. It really does feel the same. But when I got up out of that place that I was at, because it wasn't good for a while, and I used to tell my husband, like, Livia, you just really don't know. Right. You just really don't know. I was having meltdowns, right? He didn't. He's so used to me being strong. But at that moment, I was like, I'm really in a space. I'm really in a space. This is hard. Like, this got me, because now I'm moving up high. So it's like this thing. The higher you go, that fall hits harder.
Yes.
Right?
that.
If
I
you
can see
down
that.
low and you get the fall, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
But you start to climb up and you get the fall, like, okay,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
fall hurts,
That hurt.
right?
Yeah.
And that was what I felt. And so, but when I got out of that, I said, y'all won't get me like that again.
Well, that's kind of like our next question. Like, what was been a low? Do you feel like that was like the lowest of the lows, or is there another low?
There's some other lows, girl. I got many lows to tell you about. That wasn't, the layoffs were low, but now as I understand it, they were just business decisions, right? It just didn't feel good to me.
Yeah.
So I won't call that my low, but the lows are like just being out here. For one, in commercial real estate, I work deals. I have a deal that I've been working now for the last 4 years.
Wow.
Right? I still ain't get paid on that deal. So those things, it's that's the challenge
Yes.
of being in this industry, right? The deal cycles, the sales cycles are very long,
Yeah.
right? So I don't
that's
get paid until that deal closes,
done, yeah.
right? So if it takes 4 years and we still back and forth, I'm not gonna get paid. So, but I gotta show up every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Every single day, I gotta
Yeah.
look good. I
Right.
gotta show up. I gotta, things
Even if
we
you don't
could-
feel good,
even if you don't feel good, I still gotta get my clothes in the cleaners.
Yeah.
I still gotta make sure my hair's done. I gotta still do all of that.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the money yet.
Yes.
That's hard.
That's like the
that
barrier
other
of
stream of
entry.
income.
Why it's so hard to get into,
It's
and why there's so few
that
of.
that is exactly
in
it.
it.
And no, you're saying it. Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's a couple reasons why it's so few of us in there. It's so few of us in there because it was a very closed industry, and we recognize that, right? I can literally tell you who all the diverse people are out here. It's small. We represent like 1 to 2% of diversity in this industry. This is a large industry, right? Why is it only 1 to 2% of people in this industry that look like me? But it gets worse when it starts to think about how many females. I could tell you who all the females is in Atlanta that's doing what I do.
Commercial real estate.
Now, the fact that I can tell you who all the females
Right.
are,
It's a
That's just how
problem.
few.
that
Yeah.
just tell you just how few it is. Like seriously, like and so that's the big problem. But what happens is this is an industry that was not designed for us.
Yes.
Right? We can do residential real estate,
Yes.
but not commercial. Right? Because commercial real estate is a very, very lucrative industry.
Yes.
Right? And so it is inside, like even right now,
But yes,
everyone that I'm around, it would be a grandfather,
check that out.
the father, the grandson, granddaughter, son, father, daughter, son.
That's
like
why you mentioned like people think that you got into this industry from
absolutely
a family.
right. That's exactly. And my family didn't know this. I've got in here because of a blessing and because God favored me. Honestly, right? He put me in this space. He put me around people who believed in me and saw something in me and pulled me in. But this industry, you're not going to get in unless someone pull you in, right? Not to get the real deals. Now, there's some deals out there. You'll hear people out there say, "I'm a commercial broker." Yeah, but then, and I'm not putting it down, but there's certain things, right? There's levels to this thing here, right? So they have this thing. Okay, well, we'll give you that. We don't want that.
We don't want that.
Yeah, you're gonna work hard and long, and you're not gonna make much money. They understand, but then there's another level.
A layer, yes.
Right? That's their level. It's not ours, right? It wasn't designed for us, but that's where your money is.
Yes.
So sometimes I hear people say that, and I'm saying that like, hey, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's got to do it, honestly. Somebody's really got to do it. If that gives you some exposure and that feeling, or even I guess the knowledge or understanding that this industry is here, right? Because the biggest thing for us is you got to start somewhere. But the truth of the matter is to get to the big money, you're not getting into the big money unless you are
pulled in on the deal.
Yeah, because imagine like that 4-year deal that you're still working was your first deal. How am I surviving?
Yes.
These 4 years.
So here's the thing, right? And that's the other issue that we have. Like I said, why most people can't do this? Most people can't survive sitting somewhere not getting money for years, right? When I came in this industry, I actually, when I left and I got laid off from my job, I said, hey, you know what? Here's a good time for me to do my real estate, right? And I went to residential. So I'm going to tell you how bad it is, because when I went to the team, I went to Keller Williams at the time, and I was like, hey, I have a commercial background, and I wanted to get on the commercial real estate side. And he says, hey, great. You know what? So come on over here. You do residential, and you can just give us your deals, and you refer them over, and you can get a percentage off of that. That's what he wanted me to do. Give me your people, right? Give us your people, and you can get some money off of that. You can get a little cut off of that, but we'll take your deals. Meanwhile, you do residential. Because that's how it was designed, right? But I'm like, but I got a commercial background, so why would I do that?
Would I give you
but you know, I didn't know the system. I didn't know it at the time, and so I went ahead and I said, okay. So I got on residential side. There was a couple people that recognized me, and one older gentleman who said, because I had questions, and those questions were related to commercial, and he started saying, wait a minute, let me ask you something. Who are you? What did you do? What was you doing that you even understand this? And I was like, well, I was a long workout manager at the bank and blah, blah, blah. And I started telling, he said, so why are you doing residential real estate?
I remember you telling me about him.
Why are you doing residential real estate? And I said, well, I told them I had the commercial background, but they still put me on residential. I didn't know how to get here. I didn't know much about this, right? I didn't really understand the barrier to entry. I was like, oh, okay. And so he said, I mean, at that moment, that older gentleman was the one who pulled me in and was like, this is a commercial real estate agent. This is not residential.
Yes.
And it was true. I'm business minded now,
like,
right?
This is ridiculous.
He was like, yeah, he
Y'all
said
see this?
that. He said that. He really went to the guy. He said, Brad, I never forget. This guy name was Charlie. He said, Brad, let me ask you something. Why is she on residential with this type of background? And Brad was like, oh, Detra was so smart. She can do both. He said, now, Brad.
No.
He saw the bias.
He knew what was happening. He said, this is not how we do business. So if it wasn't for that older guy, that's what brought me in on this side, and I'm grateful to him to this day because I didn't know how to get there.
Brad was
like, hey, you get over here like all the other ones, right? That was Brad, and the other guy.
Racism is a part of the problem. It's like if it's about capitalism, get the money. If the black is gonna get the money, get the money.
But they wasn't looking at that because the truth of the matter is, and this industry is for us. Like honestly, it's not the industry for us. It was their industry. They didn't care what you did. You can do any and everything that you want. But this is ours. And that really was what this is. This is ours. And it's very clear because to this day, why is it 1 to 2% of people in this industry.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. That look like me.
Yeah.
It wasn't for us. It's too much money here.
Yeah.
You're not here to get that.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much money
Yeah.
here, right? And that's how it
We
was.
don't want you
So
to have that.
we don't want you to have it. And we don't want you to expose your family to this.
Right.
We don't even want you to know it's
Y'all
here.
even thinking that this is
Don't
okay.
think this is not for y'all, right?
Right.
This really is not for y'all. So those are real challenges that we have here. But the lows of it is that, man, you be out here working and you be like, I'm still broke, you know? But every day I got to go to work and every day I got to show up.
Yeah.
I got to show up every single day and be my best self and give it my best. But my deal cycles are very long, and the average person cannot sit through that,
Sustain
right?
that.
They
Right.
can't sustain that. But I'll tell you what, when it kicks in,
It
Kicks.
It
it kicks in.
I think you 3.
Okay, so what has been a major high that you've experienced in your career?
A major high? Let me think about that. I'll just tell you some of the highs that I experience. Anytime I do a deal,
Yeah, it's a high.
honestly, when that deal, seriously,
When it finally
when that
closed.
deal closes, that is the high. Because
Yes.
guess what?
Yes.
There you go. Like, I understand. I just made a lot of money,
Yes. We're
right?
at the
So
finish
it's
line.
when that deal closes, that is my high. But
It's
it
like
really,
euphoric.
truly, yes.
Yeah.
And so that is the high.
Yeah.
But truthfully, there's
so
times
honest.
that
I
I'm
love it.
getting into deals and like everyone's confused. What's going on? And whenever I can solve the problems
Yeah.
and I can figure out what they can't figure out, because there's something that I realize is happening to me. I had a banking career, right?
Yes.
So things that they can't figure out, some way or another, I get to marry my two skills at times, right? My banking career marries with this career at
Absolutely.
times. And so I have something
have
that
a
the
knowledge.
average broker don't have.
You can
Your
pull
banking
from it.
background set
Yes.
you up to win
Yes.
in this commercial real
And it
estate.
was commercial
Absolutely.
banking.
It was
Like that.
commercial banking.
Yeah,
So
set her up.
that is
Yeah.
what most people don't have. So times like this, when they're trying to figure out what's going on, I'm like, oh, I can tell you what's going on.
Right.
Get in
Well, I
your
can tell
bag,
you,
stay in your
I
bag.
was- you know what I'm saying? I was that banker on the other side of the deal that was giving the orders.
Yes.
So now when they can't figure out, I'm like,
Simple.
let me tell you what's happening right now, right?
Yes.
I've been this person, so now I'm finding that I get to marry
Your
my two
two.
careers,
Yes.
right? And that's the beautiful thing when I get to see that, like, oh, okay, I got this doggone thing.
So all of those years weren't a waste.
All of those years, sometimes you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Like, you're like, why am I doing this? Like, why did I get here and then I came back here? Because my commercial real estate, it was like a full circle moment for me to be in real estate.
Yes.
I got licensed in 2002 originally.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
But
put
wasn't
that
even
thing on
thinking
hold.
about
The journey
I
of it
put-
all was
you
for
see
this
what I'm saying?
space and this place. Yes.
That's exactly it. So
Yes.
I'm like, why did I get this license in 2002, go to the bank just to come back to real estate? I couldn't understand it. But I developed so many skills along the way to now what makes me strong. And I'm telling you, like,
And those are
I
the
ain't get
intangibles.
started yet. Like,
Yes.
seriously.
Haven't even
I
started
haven't
yet.
even gotten started yet.
You're
Yeah.
not even
I
in your
get-
bag yet.
I'm not
Not
yet.
even.
Stop playing. Not even. They just seeing the surface. Like, seriously, this is just the beginning for me.
Yeah.
I love
right?
that.
So I'm excited about it. So every time I get to see, like, oh, now I see why I was there.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you don't always know why. Like, why did I take these different steps? Why did I have these different jobs?
Yes.
But I learned something from every single place that I was. And now it has prepared me to be the entrepreneur that I am today.
So
That is-
piggybacking off of that, what she says is like having conversations with younger entrepreneurs and being so proud of them noticing what they want to do.
Yes.
There's no point
Like
on
from
the
the
brush.
jump, like
Yeah.
for example, Ray is noticing like, or just recognizing that she understands her position
Eyeshadow
from an
because
early age.
Yeah.
Yes.
But some of us gotta go through.
Yes.
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 Get these things under our belt
Yeah.
to really fully acknowledge the moment that
That's
we
correct.
have.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
correct. That's why I say I'm always excited when I see young entrepreneurs because I'm like, wow, you get it and you got it early.
Yes.
That wasn't me. I went to this. I
But
went to
you
this
wouldn't
maze,
even
right?
be as proficient as you
Right.
are
Absolutely.
You didn't go
without
through all
that
of that.
Absolutely.
experience.
Yeah.
So
I
it's not
completely
It's not a waste.
agree.
Yes.
That's exactly how I
Yes.
look at it now. And I said, you know what?
Your
I
journey
am
is your
knocking
journey.
down some doors. Let me tell you something. What I will say to you, CBRE, that company that I'm at,
Yeah.
it is really a top ranked company with Forbes. It's a global company. It is your top ranked heavy. Anybody that knows commercial real estate, if you tell them,
it's
hey,
the global leader. It's the global leader.
It's the global leader.
Commercial real estate.
So being at this firm, I'm the black broker here, right? So being at this firm and this place, and my space is still entrepreneur. I make my decisions. I set my calendar, right? No, they don't tell me how to do what I do. If you don't want to work, you won't eat, right? That's kind of what that is, right? Because I'm a commission based, right? So you can sit here and goof off if you want to. You just won't be eating anything because we're not paying you. There you go. Like you get paid when your deals get closed. You know. So what I say, but to be into this company, they let me in because they also felt, hey, she's great for our brand. She's smart. She has all these things. So I do see now. Every place that I've been, what it did, it lined my resume up. It lined me up to be the qualified candidate when the door opened.
Absolutely.
That's what
and
happened.
like you said, that hurt breathed fire underneath you.
Girl.
So
that discomfort, I could tell you anything. Like you gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable. Seriously. And anytime I was uncomfortable, when I tell you my biggest growth, always came in my discomfort.
After the storm.
It always happens.
I always say that.
Every single
welcome the storm.
time. There you go. My dad used to say this, the darkest part of night is just before day.
Yes.
Right? So when you feel that place like, oh gosh, Bob, you are about to have a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, and I see it every
time.
time.
Stay the course.
I see it every time. So, that's kind of how I feel about it. So I feel like I was prepared for when the door was opening. First of all, it was a couple of things that was happening. The industry we didn't have really much diverse candidates in this industry, right? Sure. And they didn't have women, right? They needed the right women, the right woman at the right time.
And
so my layoff happened, which I didn't understand. I'm like, God, I see you. Now, see, that's what I say, God, I see you.
Yes.
It was happening to shift me into an opportunity that was coming available to me that I didn't know. Because what I would do is I'll sit down, God, what's my purpose? I'm growing in ways, but I want to be... I still like relationships. I like talking, right, to people.
Yeah.
I'm real analytical. I'm a numbers person, right? Sure. So I was doing all those things, and I could see myself growing and place. I was making the 6 figures above. Like I want to make 6 figures. Okay, I got all that. Now what next?
Yeah.
God, what's my purpose? And so when the layoff happened, it was to really redirect what I did not know was an opportunity that was coming available to someone who looked like me, right? And I was the right fit. I had the right education. I had the right credentials. I had the right everything that I needed to be the perfect candidate to come in and pioneer in an industry that didn't really look like
it's almost like being handpicked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that was what was happening.
Absolutely.
I didn't even mention it.
I love that for you. And I resonate with that statement of like going through whatever entrepreneurial opportunities and working opportunities to get to where you are.
Right.
I don't think that I would have taken advantage of what was presented to me in the lash industry had I not
blend out that harsh line
worker.
Because you guys know,
you get what I'm saying?
Also, think about your journey as well. You were made uncomfortable with having to leave one workspace that you were in and having to figure it out for yourself.
Or just being uncomfortable in what I was doing in my workspace.
Yes,
and I needed a shift, so I needed to completely change. I was so tired. I was so uncomfortable. But moreover, I feel like I am a great lash artist and then I'm a great business owner because I was a great employee.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
you would have been presented the opportunity to even have that presented to you.
Absolutely.
Had you not been a great employee.
You do have to have great work ethic in order to be a good entrepreneur. You can't be that.
Great work ethic, being a self-starter, knowing how to manage yourself.
A supervisory skills.
Yes, you gotta be it all, right? You really do. You have to be all things, right? Like,
you do.
Yes.
You do. So recognizing you saying you are where you are because of the things that you accomplished along the journey. That resonates with me because in our city and especially in our beauty industry, we meet a lot of very, very talented young people who don't have that work resume.
Yes.
And so when you get to them, that experience that we are seeking, because we know what we want to go to, what we pay for, it's lacking because they don't have that HR. They don't have that team grooming them and telling them what to do and they just are the talent.
That's it.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So they have one aspect of it, right?
But they don't have
they don't have the whole thing that allowed them to be successful.
Exactly.
Like they should be.
I was going to say, that reminds me of what Kai says. It's like they haven't been made uncomfortable yet.
Yes.
Because once you get into that space of uncomfortability, then you'll shift. They
Yes.
haven't been made to be like, oh, I'm missing my kids. I'm missing my home. I don't have any boundaries.
Yes.
They're not uncomfortable yet.
That
Some of them learn and some of them
discomfort,
don't.
Exactly.
That really does make you push through. There's a book. Who wrote it? It's The Power of Broke. It's by Damon. Is it Damon
Broke.
Dash? I think it was.
Damon Dash.
Not Damon Dash. The one that did FUBU. What's his name again? You know who I'm talking about.
Damon.
Not
He's a
Dash.
shark.
He's a shark. Exactly.
The black shark?
Yes, the black shark.
Yeah.
So he got a book called The Power of Broke.
Yeah.
And that book, if you read that, everyone who became very successful, they got lots of no's. It was their discomfort. It was their last resort. We got to do this. That made them push through.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to people who grew up struggling, that's why they a lot of times can just make it happen. You're like, damn, how is this person who grew up struggling?
The hunger is inside of them.
The hunger is there, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get kids, they get so comfortable, they like life was good. And then they get there and then you be like, wait, hold up. This person who had less has made more happen than somebody who had more.
They were 10 steps behind you.
Yeah, you understand?
I mean, that's the setup of the middle class, I think.
That really is.
It's such a setup.
It's a real setup, right? Because you're like, wait, hold up. You don't even have that grind in you. You don't have that hustle nor drive in you. But that person was like, my life, my career, my money, my everything depends on.
Yes.
They got this thing in them, right? And that happens. Now, there's some people who I didn't have an uncomfortable life like that growing up, but I always had this drive in me, right? My mom had it, right? And I realized that I possessed her drive. Me and my mom be like tugging the war. But the truth of the matter is that drive that she has was born in me, right? And to be the best. So I have this New York drive, honestly, because New Yorkers got like a strong hustle. Right? We got strong hustle. And now I kind of just mixed it up with a little Southern hospitality. So somebody said I got a tender swing on it. Exactly. We got survival skills up there, right? So they called it a tender heart. I was like, oh, is that what you call it?
What does it call it?
A tender heart. I did an interview recently, and a woman was like, Detra had the tender heart from the New York drive she was speaking of, and then the Southern word. So combined, and I do hear that a lot now. Like, oh, okay, so the fact that she's working in the South, she's developed the Southern hospitality. Because, you know, us New Yorkers, we be like, what? Poker face, what? You said what? We don't talk much, right? We don't talk to you. I had neighbors that I lived next to 7 years. I was like, who's the neighbor? Who lives next door? Didn't talk to them. Like, that was crazy. You know, and now I look like, how?
But your kindness and empathy is there.
You
might not be able to express it
to yourself. You just say it to yourself.
It's always been there. But there was that thing in the city where we just did not do that.
Yeah,
so,
you're too nice, you're questionable.
But I'm not gonna be your target. And not to mention that I was a correction officer for 10 years. What?
You
like I dealt with inmates all day long. Somebody that's con artist all day.
So I feel like that job in Miami is the route of if like you don't leave and go to college, if you don't leave the city to do work, you end up working for Miami-Dade Corrections.
Really?
Wow.
It's like the pipeline to like work out there.
It's interesting you said that because I didn't realize that was Miami. But I know in New York,
That makes sense.
If you didn't finish college, right? That was the job. And now it had gotten to the point they were making so much money compared to most people that started becoming a job for even people that went to college.
Wow.
But at the time, I hadn't finished college, so I was there. And then being it, and it was like people looking at like, hey, you got the city job, you're a correction officer. We had so much overtime. You can get a lot of money. I was young.
And you had the time.
But let me tell you something. You learn how to be like inmates when you're doing that. Like, you learn how to talk like them. You learn how to act like them. You learn how to think like them. So.
I honestly feel like all of that made you
so.
This lady.
I agree.
I always say that because I have my formal AUC education from Clark, Atlanta. I have my touch of the street,
Your
working
street.
in the
Yeah,
clubs
right?
in Onyx, and then I have my beauty education and my beauty like my beauty reach,
And-
in that type of formal education that has
Blended.
comprised
Right.
Yeah.
and
Yes.
blended and
Yes.
made me
Who
be
you
able
are.
to communicate with
Anybody,
whomever,
right?
whatever room,
Yes.
whatever everything.
Yes.
So that literally has made you that humble. That when we say humble, it's not
Yes.
because you are
Shrinking
downplaying
yourself.
your
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
It is because you have touched the ground.
I agree.
Yeah.
And you level and you literally can speak to any person
I
in
agree.
any room.
I absolutely agree
Yeah.
with you. I've been in the other environments. I've been on both sides of the spectrum.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you're on both sides of the spectrum, I keep myself grounded by reminding myself what the other side looks like.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But then I also keep myself grounded at, hey, I'm here and I belong here.
You
right?
belong. That's
I
the
belong
part.
here,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
I belong here. I worked. I put the work in.
Absolutely.
I put the work in, so I belong here. I don't feel at any point that I don't belong here. No, I absolutely belong here.
Yeah.
We
But I
always
still
bring
remember.
that back. When we went to Invest Fest, Tyler Perry spoke, and he always spoke about that room or being in a room with these ultra wealthy individuals, and the one thing that they had in common is like everybody felt like they deserved
Yes.
to be in
what
that
they
room.
had
Yes.
and
Yeah.
what the whatever room they were in,
Yes.
they deserved to be there.
It's
Yeah.
a real.
So that's
it's
a real
thing.
ownership. Yeah.
It is a real thing. I mean, when I go to work, and I look around and I'm like, you know what? I belong here. Like
Yeah.
I say that to myself all
Absolutely.
the time. No one was
There's
handing
nothing
me
you can
out.
take.
No one. You're not taking this back from me. I
Yeah.
worked hard.
I don't care who my granddaddy is.
I don't care who he is. I don't care where I grew up. I don't care what my first
handed you
career was.
this
I don't
job.
care any of
Yeah.
that, right? But I belong here, and I put the work in. I
And
really
the drive,
did.
like you said, the drive.
Girl.
But do you feel like that is like the main thing that someone needs to have in order to be an agent, whether it be in the commercial or residential side? Like, you got to have drive.
You can't be an entrepreneur without drive.
For
That's
sure.
just the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
cannot be, because guess what? Nobody's going to tell you to get up today.
Right.
Right. So without that drive, there's some people like, hey, I like sleeping
Get
late.
up.
Right. Even when you know you like sleeping late, being an entrepreneur, you be like, but I got to get up early. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You got to make sure you're there and available for your
Yeah.
clients
You gotta
and
be a
for whatever it is
self-starter.
you got to
Yeah.
do. You got to be a self-starter.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you cannot do that if you don't have the drive. You say, oh, well, today is not a good day. I went late.
I'm
I don't
calling
care if
everybody.
you feel, there you go. Whether you feeling good, whether you feeling bad.
Yeah.
You got to show up.
You got to
Yes.
show up.
You still got to show up. So,
So that's the
it's an
advice to-
entrepreneur, period.
Period.
That's what
Not
we
even
all
just
deal with.
Real estate.
Not just real
Entrepreneur,
estate.
period.
That's across the board.
Yes.
Across the board.
No, I can feel that
Right?
for sure.
Yeah.
Across the board. Like, your clients be like, wait, you said what?
What?
We take that sometimes.
nobody dead.
Right. Anybody die today, right? No? Okay, well, show up.
Yes.
So we still got to do it.
Yes.
So it's just the entrepreneur, period.
Yes.
Okay.
What are a few things you would tell someone that's looking to get into commercial real estate in 2023?
The first thing I would tell anyone that's trying to get into commercial real estate, you have to have a mentor. You can't really get into this industry and be successful without a mentor. Even myself, like I said, I've gone through different stages, but I strategically sought out where I was going based on the learning that I needed to have, based on the mentoring that I needed. You have to have that. And the other thing that I tell people is I tend to have blinders on at times, right? So I'm like a horse where you put those blinders on, because I'm not looking left and right to see what anyone else is doing,
Yes.
right? I'm only concerned about what I'm doing
What
out
I'm
here,
doing.
because
Yeah.
people get their favor at different times, right?
sure.
People paid their dues. I don't know if your mother paid the dues, your father
Right.
paid, your grandparents paid the dues, right?
Right.
So people are getting stuff sometimes because someone else paid the price prior to them getting there, right?
Yes.
So I
I
can't
make that my
I can't make that
Yeah.
my
My
thing,
business.
right? That's
Yeah.
not my business.
Yeah.
So I try to stay focused on what it is that I'm bringing at all times. And I'm really, like, seriously, like a horse with blinders on.
Yeah.
And I'm only looking at what I'm doing. I'm not concerned about where you at in this process.
Yeah.
I am only concerned about where I am. So I always tell people, don't focus on what someone else have. That
Don't
may be their
compare.
favor, right? Don't compare.
Yeah.
Because that can, first of all, that can make you feel like defeated. If I'm looking and I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm doing just as well, and this person's getting, and they got all these opportunities, that can really make you feel defeated and make you quit and make you give up.
Yes.
So the one thing that I won't do, I don't care what you got. That's just, it's your time right now.
Yes.
When my time comes, then I'm going to get what I deserve. So
Yes.
I stay very focused on what it is that I'm supposed to do, but you got to have mentors.
Yes.
This is a tough, people think it's, they think it's easy. It's not easy. People don't see all the work that gets put in. They see the success when it turns.
Right.
They see what you're doing, but they miss the part that you got to go home and you're not getting any income and you got to depend on another income in order to get here. They miss the part that you might have to work a second job in order to do this. Because I was the entrepreneur that had to work a night job.
Right.
Yes.
I was working a night job while I'm trying to
pay
do
for
this to compensate, right? Because other than that, my husband like, wait, why are you doing this?
Right.
You know, what's
see
going
no
on?
fun.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to do other stuff. So I make sure now that I do not look at what anyone else is doing. So I always tell somebody, in order to get in this industry, you definitely need a mentor, someone who can help coach you through, because dealing with businesses, you can't afford to be, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't get forgiven for those mistakes like that. You know,
Are you required to work residential first and then get into commercial?
absolutely not.
So you can go straight into commercial.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how would
you
you
think it would be smart to do
suggest
that?
someone find a mentor?
Yeah.
Now that's a hard thing, right? Because it gotta be somebody that you feel like you relate to, just like any other mentor. Who do I look at? Okay, if I see somebody in commercial real estate, they're doing what I want, and I feel like there is a connection between us, that's who I want as my mentor, right?
Right.
And typically with me being a woman, I may say, hey, I would love to have a woman mentor because they have this journey. Right, and that my journey may be similar to their
aligned
journey,
with
right? It
theirs.
may be more aligned. So that's what I may look for. Now, in this industry, unfortunately,
That's few and far between.
I don't really have that opportunity.
That's
so
why she
my
got 29
mentor,
mentees.
that is so true. That's why I have so many mentees. That is so true. That's why I have but I have multiple mentors too.
Yeah.
And most of them, they're all men. Right? They're all men because that's who's in this industry. And the bottom line is that's who I got to go to. So what I do for myself is I make sure that I become that female, because as people are coming into the industry, I need to be the mentor, right? For people who's reaching out saying, hey, I need this, right?
Yeah.
Because they need to see something sometimes that look like them.
Absolutely.
And so here I am.
Even to receive the message.
In order to receive the message. So
Yeah.
you just don't know. Everybody needs different things, but
Yeah.
you do have to have a mentor.
Yeah.
It's hard, and your mistakes are not always forgiven. Right?
Yeah.
It takes a long time to overcome mistakes. It takes a long time to rebuild credibility. And so that's why I tell people, want you to go out there and take this chance. Yeah, some things you could take a chance with. Some things you can't be afraid about, right?
Yeah.
You got to just go out there and go for it, make a mistake and fix and correct it.
But this is a big pond.
But this is one of those things that you don't really want to do that, right?
Yeah.
You need to be seeking advice from someone. Because make a mistake with somebody, people don't forget those mistakes.
This
and they
is a
may
large
forget-
amount of money.
It's a
It's a
large
big
amount
money
of money
on
on
the
the
line.
line, right?
Yes.
And if you mess up here, they tell their friends,
Yes.
just like if you
It
did well,
travels.
they tell their friends, and they
friends,
tell their
they tell
friends,
their
right?
friends.
So when you mess up, they do that too. Guess what? If I mess up right now, it may take me 15 years to recover from that mistake. But 15 years from now, I'm going to be old as hell, right? I don't have
I
time
ain't got
to
that
wait
kind of
15
time.
years to recover,
Yeah.
right? So even myself coming out here, I was like, wait, hold up. I need some help. I need to make sure that I have someone as a sounding board. I need a
Sure.
sounding board that I
Talk
can
about
go
that all
to
the time,
and
too.
just say,
Yes.
right, like, hey, I'm thinking, this is my thoughts. What do you think, right? Someone with the experience, you need to do that. Don't get out there. I see some people being out there and they say, hey, I'm a commercial broker, and I hear them and they don't even understand the terminology.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I have people a lot and say, you may need to get a mentor because people will recognize that the moment you start to
You
talk,
throwing out your title.
As soon as you start
they
talking,
know, right?
you telling
Exactly.
yourself.
They can tell. I mean, I hear so many people. They was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm commercial," and then I hear them talking. I was like, everything you just said was all wrong. But I know what you're trying to say,
Right.
You know, I
Right.
suggest
It ain't right.
It ain't right. And
Right.
I'm telling them, I was like, such and such, I really suggest you get you a mentor,
Yeah.
or split your fees with somebody. Although I don't do split fees, right?
Yeah.
And when they do the split fees, that means that they're working with someone outside of their firm or their industry and
Yeah.
say, hey, I need somebody to help me
I
do
need some
this,
assist.
right?
Yeah.
I don't really do that. I have done that before and I got burnt. right?
Yeah.
I had
So
somebody,
it's a
once
no.
they got what they needed, Miss Reed, we don't think we need you because you can't work on Thanksgiving. Dude, I'm not working on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And so I got cut out of that.
Yeah.
I could not control that because why? You weren't a part of my structure or my firm. So when you
Right.
decide to cut me out after you got all your information,
You just had a loss.
I
Yep.
just took a loss.
Yep.
What can I do to protect myself? I can't.
You have no
So people don't
recourse.
understand that now. Like right now, they're like, hey, can we?
And
That's
when you
not my
say
thing.
the hard no, it's like they think it's a personal
They think
thing.
it's personal. And I'm
But
like, I
it's
got
no, it's an
burned, right?
experience.
Yeah.
I got
And I
burned.
don't want to deal with it.
And I don't want
anymore.
to deal with this. I've tried it, but I can't make you do the
Yeah.
right thing by me if you decide that, hey, the greed came over you and you was like, oh, I got what I need. I don't need her anymore.
Exactly.
So the only way to prevent that for me, I just can't
Is
do
to
that.
not
And so
be
now it's like,
involved.
I did that before. I'm not doing that now.
Yeah.
So, but you do need to get a mentor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
So how do you see your career evolving in the next 5 years? And what are some steps you are currently taking to make sure that it gets there?
Well, I can tell you this honestly.
Sure.
I am at the beginning.
Yes.
Like seriously, I have not scratched the
The
surface
surface.
of what I am about to become.
So excited.
I will tell you that, right? So this is just the beginning. I'm looking at people like, hey, if it bothers you now, step aside, and step aside.
Yes.
Because I got more for you.
Wow.
That's where that came from. Right? I got more for you. This is just the
Yes.
beginning, right?
Yes.
I'm still in that beginning stage, right?
Yes.
I'm 6 years in.
Yeah.
But it's still an early part in this career for me being 6
Absolutely.
years in.
Yeah.
I'm like 5 years from now, 10 years. Come on now.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
And
like
you're,
I
and you're
really-
like,
thing.
the average person has their highest earning potential at your age.
There
So you are
go.
in your
Fine.
zone.
I'm in
Get in
my
your bag, stay in your bag, get in your bag.
So 5 years from now, I'll really tell you, I've already got a good handle and a strong handle of what I'm doing and my clients. 5 years from now, I'm killing this game. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I'm killing
Kill.
this game. And for
Talk
anybody
to
that
me
questions why
nice.
you're here, talk to me nice. If you want to know why I'm here, I'm going to show you why I'm here. So that really is the thing. What I do to get there, I'm actually really strategic.
Okay.
Like I'm very strategic in how I move. I've gone multiple stages. I've started off at a Keller Williams. I am at the top firm now. You know what I'm saying? So I made sure that I positioned myself. I got better. Every time I got better, I made the next move.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
leveled up. And I
Yeah.
leveled up till I'm like, okay, now I'm with y'all bosses, right?
Yes.
I'm with the best. I'm with the cream of the crop out here.
Yes.
now. So that, for me, was a very strategic move. I got here. Their language is very sophisticated. It's very strong. It's very hard.
Yes.
By the time I finish talking this Harvard language,
Yes.
they ain't gonna be able to do nothing with me. Like seriously, they won't be able to do anything with me. So
I
but
love
I'm
it.
proud.
I love it,
Honestly,
and
I am proud of
I'm
it
proud.
too.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
thank you. Like I'm really proud. And when I see I measure myself honestly. Always. First of all, I'm my biggest critic, right?
Sure.
I'm always making sure that I'm growing. I don't want to see myself looking like I was last year.
Yes.
I challenge myself. I tell people, I'm not competing against you.
Competing
I'm
against
competing against me,
Yeah.
right?
Man.
So
Me versus me.
it's
Mirror.
me
Yes.
versus me. I cannot be doing what I did last year. If I don't see the growth in myself today from what I had last year,
Yeah.
It's a
something's
loss.
wrong,
It's
right?
a loss.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. I didn't do something right. So
Exactly.
I pride myself on seeing my growth. Every single year, every near September, anywhere between September and December, I am writing my goals out.
Yep.
What do I plan on accomplishing this year?
Yes.
I don't hit them all, right? Because I got
Yeah,
some stretch goals
of
in there
course.
too, right?
Yeah.
But I better be getting some of them.
You hold yourself accountable. You hold yourself accountable first.
But I'm holding myself
Yeah.
accountable,
Better
and
be.
I'm writing it down to make sure that I am growing.
Yes.
So I am always, I tell people, like, don't feel threatened and be like, oh, Detra, no, this ain't about you. The people
At
like,
all.
oh, she could be,
Has
it's not about, it has
absolutely
nothing to do
negative.
with
Yeah.
This is
with
all
you.
about me. Detra needs to be better than what she was last year. Detra needs to
Absolutely.
be better than what she was last week.
Yes.
This is really me against me. I am always competing
It's
against
always
myself.
Yes.
personal.
You are irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
It's me. It's all
Period.
about me.
Yes.
That's really it. So I'm very strategic though. I'm very strategic in my moves. I understand, hey, what gets me there? What gets me the credibility? Even right now, I don't have my brand built like I need it. So you know what my brand is? My company.
Yeah.
My company with that strong reputation becomes my brand right now. But I have to figure out, okay, so I get to build off their name until my name becomes stronger than their name.
For sure.
And that's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Amen.
You do what you need to until you can do what you want to do.
There you go.
That's what's up.
All strategic, though.
All
Yep. I
Baby.
get one place and I
Yeah.
figure out how to get to the next place.
yeah.
I'm thinking. My
And
wheels be
a lot of your
turning.
moves are kind of like not secretive, but you have to be very like what is it?
Intentional.
Yeah, well, no,
Yes.
like the
Private.
companies that very private.
yeah.
Yes,
So you're
absolutely.
not able to like post
Correct.
those
Be as
big
vocal.
goals,
You know what?
those big accomplishments.
That is correct, Ash. Like you spot on with that, and I tell people like, and that's the piece that I'm trying to figure out, right? How
to
do I
navigate.
post what I do without posting those private things, right? Prior to me coming to this company, I can go to a building and be like, hey, boom, 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 I'm in this building.
Right,
boom,
right,
boom, boom.
right.
But this company, you can't do it because I'm almost advertising your space.
Exactly.
You're like, wait, hold on. We're
Yeah.
not here to advertise nobody else's
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
See, in residential, I can say, hey, I'm at this house because I want to get the buyer to come
Exactly.
in here. Now
This
they're
is a
like,
private deal.
This is right,
is
a very
something completely different.
confidential, private deal.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I may be like, okay, I want to give a snippet of what we doing here. But I can't never tell you where I'm at.
Right.
I can't never tell you what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I can't do any of that. I just have to brand myself in other ways.
Yes.
But I cannot talk about any of the things. They give us non-disclosure agreements. Like, hey, here, I need you to sign an NDA.
Yep.
I don't need you to talk about because those businesses, those companies, we dealing with the large companies, the Google, the Microsoft,
Yes.
the Nike, all those
Yep.
large
You say
companies.
something and
They
blow
don't.
it.
You tell a landlord it's
Again,
Nike
that
coming.
mistake that you
It's
talked about. That's
a
mistake that
problem.
you
You see what I'm
talked
saying?
about. And that's a mistake that you have to take 15 years to recover
It
from.
will take 15
Yeah.
years to recover from. They don't want people to know that they're there. Like I have clients now, they say, okay, Detra, I don't even want anyone to know I'm trying to move into Atlanta. A lot of these companies, they may be in
5 years
New York
ahead.
or somewhere
Yep.
else, and they're trying to brand themselves into Atlanta, right?
market.
Or
Yeah.
other places.
Yeah.
But they don't want no one to know until that deal is done and that ink is dry.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't want anyone to
It's
know that this
all
is taking
about-
place.
it's all about the
What they
brand.
will
That's
know.
the
Right. This is
branding.
confidential.
Yeah.
There you go. It messes up their
Confidential.
brand.
That was a good
It's
one.
such a confidential relationship, so I can't talk about those things.
Yeah.
Right.
I look at their financials. I see stuff that I can't talk about.
Yeah,
After it's done, if they want to talk about it,
Fine.
then they talk about it.
Right.
They say,
Right.
hey, Detra Reid, or whatever, the company helped me. They can do that, but I won't
Yeah.
do that. But we can only talk about it after a deal is done.
Yes.
And I still struggle with that because after
Because
a deal is done,
then
you-
then
your
the next-
credibility
yeah, but I said the
is
next
big.
But that's
person
also
will be
why
like,
when you
well,
walk in rooms,
she's- you
people
know.
are talking about you and
Yes.
pointing, that's her, that's
Yes.
her, that's her.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
they know the
Because they have
story.
heard.
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
exactly it.
But if you get the idea of like, okay, well, she does these deals, but then she runs her mouth.
Right. I
next
won't
person
get any
comes
deals.
never-
First of
yeah,
all,
you
they
won't
will,
get any deals.
they will get rid of me. They will say, you know what?
She said
This
they
is
will
very
get rid of
confidential.
They can't get rid of
right?
you. You
They-
hear this
because
stuff.
what they do, they make us a lot of times sign non-disclosure
Yeah,
agreements.
NDAs,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
And
don't
so the
want no
moment-
one to know
No
Yeah.
problem.
that this is happening. You know, and I mean, we can't talk about that. So that's the difference with the real commercial brokers
Yep.
and the commercial brokers that say, I'm a commercial
That's the
broker.
line you have to
commercial, right?
straddle.
They're
Yeah.
talking about it, right?
Yeah.
But the other ones, we're not talking about that. No, we're not talking about no deals. And I'm on the tenant side.
Yes.
So I can't talk about it. Now, if I was on the landlord side, I would say, hey, this is my building.
Right.
And I'm marketing my building.
Yeah.
Then I can do that.
Yeah.
That's
different-
safe, right? I'm
that's
not on the landlord side. I work with the tenants.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, hush, you ain't got to worry about me.
Yeah.
My mouth is
But
shut.
having that company on your resume is the tell.
Yes.
You
that
know what I mean?
Having
But like
that
you said,
company.
being in the room and
Yes.
they're knowing her before she even
Absolutely.
opens her mouth.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I don't say anything, but having the company, it is, when I tell you, anybody that knows commercial real estate, if they see this company on here,
Oh, yeah.
that name
It's
by
just a
itself,
name alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
it is a global name.
Yeah.
Anybody know? Oh gosh, yeah.
Yep.
It's a big. It's really
a
a big
big
deal.
deal.
It
Yeah.
really is a big deal.
I love
See it
that for you.
everywhere. You
Yeah,
see the
it's-
logo
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's,
Yeah.
it's a big deal. I mean, all the big things.
Yeah. Okay, so to round off all of this great information that we've received from you, and I hope the girls are really taking advantage of all these jewels that you dropped on them today. But would 12-year-old you be inspired by you now, and what would you tell her if you could?
I absolutely would. My 12-year-old self would be proud of me.
Yes.
Because I didn't know about this, right? And
Yes.
what I thought about when I was younger was 6 figures.
Yes.
Oh,
This is not 6
Choke
figures no
hold.
more.
Choke,
Right?
choke, choke.
This is not 6
figures
figures
got
no
us
more,
in the
right?
chokehold.
we don't know if
There you
that's
go.
101. Is that 909?
This is doing something completely different,
Yes.
right? So yeah, I would be proud. That 12-year-old me would be super proud to know that I tapped into something that I wasn't aware of. That's a very lucrative thing for me and could change the trajectory
Of your family.
of my family. Yes, absolutely. What I would tell her, right?
Yes. I'm here.
Be bold.
That's somebody else said that. Who else
Sooner,
said that?
right?
Who said that?
Be
I love
bold.
that. Yeah.
Because there were times that I felt like I was always a bold person, but then you start to tap into things and then you be like, okay. And then you start to become, it wasn't that I was unsure.
But you start taking on other people's insecurities.
Yeah,
about you.
because what happens is they just don't look like me, right?
Yes.
I'm in a space that don't look nor
Yeah.
feel like me, and I don't have anyone to run to.
Yes.
So you can kind of be like, okay, I'm here. I know I'm supposed to be here. Like, they took a lot of reassurance.
Yeah.
I know I belong here.
Yep.
But still trying to figure out, but I don't have anyone like me here.
Yeah.
You know, so there's that little
Insecurity.
discomfort.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
insecurity. The imposter syndrome.
That.
Seriously.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? I've
Yes.
dealt with that a lot. Like, dang. You know, and then sometimes something's said, and I'm like, oh, I don't really, you know, what if they think, and people, this is what people call me. They be like, they call me B8. Badass, right? That's this thing. They be like, oh, that's Detra. Oh, she's a badass. She's a
Yes.
badass. And I'm talking about the females, the guys. They don't
males.
look like me, right? And they're
Yeah.
like, she's a badass. That's how they describe me, right? She's smart, right? Oh, this is oh, don't let her fool you. She's smart. She aced this test. She got 100 on this exam. Who else got 100? Oh, nobody. That's not something that we do. So I'm academically smart, you know, like, right? But it was a thing that I still kind of wanted to, like, it's like almost putting the fire out, right?
Yes.
Because
You
the
just wanted
attention,
to-
I just wanted to cruise through, right?
Yeah.
But I'm
Where you
learning
finna
because
get
I
through?
felt, again, like, they saying all these things about me, but I don't feel like that yet, right?
That's the part
I
of, like,
still got so much that
representation,
I'm
though, like,
learning,
yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
kind of how I feel. And every day, I'm telling you, I'm learning something new. Every day. My clients are not the same. They are all different year after year. And I'm a learner, right? That's my natural thing. I just got to know. So I'm always taking classes, always learning this, always getting this designation, always whatever. But it's like, am I prepared? Like, even when somebody says I'm great, I'm like, oh, who's she talking about? Well, like I find it hard to understand that it's me, right? Or you say these things like, hey, Detra's this is that.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that Detra? Like, right?
Yeah.
It's almost a thing. Like, what's Detra? Like me?
This
So
Detra.
I am like, there's this imposter syndrome thing that come with that. But I had one manager that told me before, he said, Detra, stop saying, when they would say, hey, Detra's a badass, she's this, she's that. And I was like, oh, no, not me and you. He said, stop saying that. Because what they're doing is prophesying what they see.
Yes.
They see this in
See
you
it in
before
you.
you see it in you.
Yep.
Damn, I didn't think about that. So it's and it's the truth. You can look at somebody and be like, that person is going somewhere, right?
Yeah.
We can see
Yeah,
that, right?
absolutely.
So you like they got all the skills, they got the look, they got all the things that they need
Yeah.
to excel. The right demeanor, we know it when we see it.
Absolutely.
Right?
So you have to
and
get
so
to a
you
place to
gotta
receive
be
it.
okay.
Yes,
when
but
Yeah,
you
you gotta
see
get
that
to a
in
place
you.
to receive
bingo.
it.
You
Absolutely.
gotta get to a place to receive it. So for me, it made me feel like I wanted to shrink a little bit, right? Because I don't like a lot of attention on me.
Sure.
Right? I just don't like a lot of attention.
Even the right attention.
Even good attention. I'm like, oh, let me just crawl in this spot. Now I'll give attention to people all day long.
Sure.
But I don't like it for myself, right? And that's the part that's my work. I got work, right?
Sure.
But so that is the part. But now I'm learning, okay, hey, they are prophesying what they see in you.
Yeah.
Own it.
Period.
Own it.
Own it. Own it.
I
Period.
love it. I mean, jewels were dropped.
Jewels were dropped.
Drop. I hope the girls know what
Yeah,
to do with this.
literally.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you.
You have tapped so many different arenas of commercial real estate, right? But at the same time, the
Just
jewels
your
in life,
experience.
your
Your
experience
journey.
in life, your journey. And it's literally expands beyond, of course you go through things in life, right?
Yeah,
You go through
we all
things in your
do.
business, but when you are able to apply that in personal and professional,
Right.
it's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. And you see it all over you.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
You are that
Thank
walking
you.
exemplary of
y'all.
everything that you speak about.
Like, seriously.
It's not for fake.
And people, again, we're still trying to find the answer of the personal and professional balance. But I feel like you wear it well.
No.
It's the perfect example of the girl that gets it.
Honestly,
The ultimate girl
though,
that
I would
gets
tell
it.
you this. I don't. I'm still working on that, right?
Okay.
So I'm a work in progress with that.
Yeah.
Becoming.
And I am a work in progress with the personal and professional balance. And I'll tell you why. I have friends right now. Some get it, some don't.
Yeah.
Some of them understand. Like when I'm in my work, I am in my work. I don't have time. This is serious business, right?
Yes.
And some don't get that. And because it's hard, it's not easy being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So what I tend to gravitate during those times when I'm in that hard stage of my life is entrepreneurs. Y'all know that this is hard, right?
Yeah.
So
we get it.
We get it.
Yeah. So if I don't talk to you for a week,
If I don't talk to you for a week, you
when
got
you
it.
hermit,
yeah.
Yes.
when you hermit to get what you need to get done.
Yes.
And I have that same experience with my friends that work more traditional jobs,
Yes.
work more 9-to-5 jobs, have more traditional times off. When I'm in my bag, in my grind mode, they don't necessarily get that.
No.
And I can't explain it to them.
You can't explain
because
Or
they're
even that
not
time
there.
that you have to turn off after
Yes.
the grind mode. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, to rest up.
Yes.
To rest
Yeah,
up from
to
what
rest
you
up.
just did.
Yeah, I just really don't feel
They
like doing
don't-
They
a lot of
really
the normal
don't. I mean,
things.
I have some like the newer people that I might have met. They don't. That's not an entrepreneur that work 9 to 5. They feel like that I don't want to be bothered.
And you don't.
She's done.
You
She
don't.
done dismissed me, and I don't. You said it right, right?
don't,
But it's not a
dismissal.
personal thing towards them.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just that
I'm
needed
focused.
To, yeah.
Right? I'm
Yeah.
focused. I got to do this. This is hard,
And this is
right?
a lot of mental.
And it's a lot of mental. And sometimes when I come home, first of all, my job is talking all day, right? And events and all these things. So when I get to the end of the day, I'm coming home. I don't want to talk on the
wanna
phone.
chit-chat,
I don't want
baby.
to chit chat. I don't want to do any
sure.
of that.
Yeah.
You know,
You only got enough to give to these people in your house.
that's exactly it. And they don't always get that. You know,
Yes.
hey, you want to go to this party? Guess
No.
what? I party for a living, right? In a different kind of way. But
Yeah.
I'm
It
at
is.
events networking
Socializing
constantly,
constantly.
right? I don't have
The
enough
capacity,
energy to
for
continue
sure.
to give that. And so for the newer friends, they look at it like, oh, she don't want to be my friend. She don't want to do. And I'm like, no, you got to understand me. Now, the ones that I've been friends with for a long time,
Yeah.
we can go a year, 2 years,
That
3 years
part.
without
Period.
talking
Exactly.
and start
that right
talking
there is
again.
self-care.
You know what I'm saying?
Tapping in with
That's
them
Yeah.
can get the self-care.
That's
That's
my
the
point.
self-care.
So then
Yeah.
when I get back, I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
but we pick up like nothing ever.
Exactly.
happened. We didn't skip a beat,
Absolutely.
right?
Exactly.
Not a beat.
And
You love those
I need
relationships.
those
Yes,
relationships,
yes,
right?
yeah.
For
I'm
sure.
like, look, if you're not that,
Those are the ones I hold near and dear to my
I
heart.
do
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Because some of the other ones, I was like, okay, you were here for that season.
Absolutely.
You didn't understand what my journey was, and you
Yeah.
took it personal, right?
And it wasn't
I'm an
for you to
entrepreneur,
understand.
right? There you,
It
and
is
it
what it
wasn't for you
is.
to understand.
Yeah.
Maybe my time with you was up.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
and so now I have a group of me around me. A lot it's entrepreneurs. I got those other friends, but I got those entrepreneurs around me because we're going through the same thing. We're trying to
sure.
keep each other lifted,
Navigate
right?
that
Yeah.
Keep each
together.
other lifted for when we have the hard times.
Yep.
We're in hard times right now for commercial real estate. Why? We got a banking crisis going on.
Absolutely.
That affects our industry, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
So I gotta like keep going even in my hard
Keep
times.
the vibes high.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep the vibes high because
Yep.
I can't quit. Why?
Yeah.
Because when I quit, I got too many people behind me
Yep.
that's banking on me
Yep.
to be successful,
through.
right?
Yep.
And then not only that, I got a company who says Detra is our cream of the crop. If Detra can't be successful,
Then nobody.
then we don't need nobody
need to
else to
pack
come
it up
up
and
here.
go.
We can pay. We don't need to hire any more people that look like Detra because she couldn't cut it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So having that on my shoulders
Yeah.
let me know that I got a job to do and I
gotta
gotta
weather
stick this
this
out. I
storm.
gotta weather
Yeah.
this storm no
Yes.
matter what that storm is.
Yeah,
I gotta
sure.
keep going. I gotta
Yes.
be that breakthrough because too many people are looking for me, looking up to me to be successful because it gives them hope.
Yes.
sure.
And I understand that.
That right there.
Oh. I mean, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So,
feeling.
Yeah.
and knowing that, I feel like there's a responsibility that I owe to the people that are coming up behind me.
Absolutely.
I stick
So
it
on
out.
those tough days,
Yes.
you have
So I have
something
tough
to
days.
grab
Yes.
from
Yep.
to push you through.
Yeah.
So I don't balance it too well. I'm working on it still.
None
but
of us do.
at the
We just
same
like
time.
to ask that to get perspective.
Yeah, do you? I'm
She don't
working
think
on
so, I
it.
think it's a
Oh no, she gives balance.
Maybe it is.
She just can't see
Maybe
it, but she can
is,
see a lot of
right?
things about
Think of
herself.
Yeah, that's true. Because we
Maybe
are
just better than us.
we are our worst critic, right?
Yeah.
So that could be true. Maybe I'm doing better than what I actually think.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'll say that.
Well, thank you for coming on. This was
This
amazing.
was amazing.
Everything
y'all.
We
and more.
appreciate this. Oh my God.
Everything and
Thank
more.
you
Yes.
so much. Like
We've been waiting on
seriously-
you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really excited, and I'm excited about what y'all doing. Like, the girls that get it, like, I'm
Do
just
you
like,
get it? Do you really
no.
see it for?
Let me tell you
Sure.
something.
I'm here.
I'm not the innovator, right?
Okay.
But I know good stuff when I see good stuff. That's real. I know good stuff when I see it. And this is it. Like, you all are professional. You're everything that girls that get it will be
Yeah,
looking for.
It's just
Yeah.
easy
Honestly.
when you get it.
Yes.
There's no
Yes.
explanation.
I'm
needed, right?
excited. I mean, I'm really excited to see y'all journey.
Yeah.
And I really know that you're going to blow up.
Okay.
And so I'm
I
happy to
receive.
be here in the beginning of this
Yes.
stage when y'all start to.
But you have been.
From the words of the
Yes.
badass.
Yes. But seriously, you have been
Yes.
from the beginning.
Yes.
Yes.
So
I mean,
this is just a
Yeah,
manifestation.
you see it from
I
the
do.
The beginning.
Yes,
From the
yes.
beginning.
Yes.
on the ground,
Yes.
just watching it, but it makes me excited. Like, I'm always excited. Like, oh my God, like, look at y'all.
Yeah.
You see me?
Yeah.
I be like peeping at, like, girl,
Yes.
y'all got
You
it
be-
going.
you
And
be-
I see y'all. Right?
Yes.
You paying
So
attention.
I'm
love
really
it.
happy
Yes.
to be a
Yeah.
part of it. To
But
be
Thank
a
you.
You've
guest.
been a blessing
Thank
to
you
my
so
life.
much.
You've been a
Ash.
blessing to our lives.
Our lives.
You know.
Y'all already know, right?
And you've been a blessing to our lives. You've been a
Yes.
blessing
Yo.
to girls that get
Wait.
it. You're
Thank
just a
you.
blessing, period.
Thank
Period.
you.
You've been
We're
a
very
blessing
thankful.
to girls that get it before it was girls that get it.
Period.
It wasn't even girls that get it when you met
Yeah.
the girls.
Yeah, when you met the
Ladies,
girls.
like seriously, like I thank you for that, and I tell you that those feelings are mutual feelings.
Thank
right?
you.
Yeah.
They're just not one way.
That's all
Yes.
we're going
A mutual
Thank
thing,
you.
right?
Mutual
I'm
feelings.
learning from you all too.
Yes.
Like seriously, I'm
Yes.
learning from you. You all give me energy too, right?
Yes.
For sure.
Y'all got it going on. So
Thank
y'all
you.
give me that energy as well to keep doing and tapping into what it is that I do. So thank y'all too.
Thank
Perfect.
you so
I
much.
appreciate y'all.
Alrighty.
All right,
Detra,
episode.
we love you. We love you.
Thank
One
you guys
for
for
the
watching and
books.
listening. Catch us on next week, and again we'll have. Oh, tell us where they can find you.
Yes.
Tell
Yes.
people where they can find you.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
she
Yeah.
said,
Tell
"Gotta
me your
remember."
social.
Okay.
So private.
I don't know what my social is. What is it? I don't know. I'm on
so
IG.
private.
What is it? Detra
Detra
Reid _CRE.
We'll tag you.
right?
We'll have you
Yeah.
tagged.
Right?
Yeah,
Detra
Detra
Reid
Underscore
CRE.
CRE. I
Yeah.
think that's it. Girl, I don't even know. I figured that out.
The definition of a referral business.
Yes.
Has no clue what
Yes.
the tags
real.
are.
Well, we will have Detra's information tags below, and of course on our page and on the YouTube and on all podcast streaming services.
Yes.
And
That's it.
Yeah.
That's about
Thank
it.
you.
all right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey girl, thanks for listening. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.